Year 2064, talking is banned. Whoever talks will be killed. I can't wait for this year because all y'all do is yap, yap,
The movie is
and
set in
yap
a
some
dystopian
more.
America where a deadly pandemic has spread through some northern states. The weird thing about this
Oh,
pandemic
and it's the North too. The North be talking the most. Oh my God, the North be talking. I live in North Dakota, but I'll move down to the South because they don't be yapping as much as the North does.
is that anyone who speaks will die. A news report shows graphic images of some people that fell victim to the pandemic. In another video,
Damn.
a terrified woman is seen recording herself while inside a car. Her daughter's mouth
They
has been
on
taped
TikTok.
shut so that she doesn't scream, and the woman is holding a sign which mentions, "Don't make noise." Too bad tweeting doesn't also get people killed. Due to all of this, the government has declared a state of emergency while suggesting everyone stay indoors and switch off their phones. Just a few days later, the pandemic has already decimated parts of the country.
Wakas_lost_child cheered. X100. Dad, I've finally found you. Please come back, mommy, and I miss you. I've been eating cereal with water and I've never been able to play catch with anyone.
How is it my fault that you can't get no friends to play catch with? The fuck?
Switch off their phones. Just a few days later, the pandemic has already decimated parts of the country. In an underground metro, there's blood and dead bodies everywhere.
Jesus.
The surviving passengers have taken refuge inside train carriages, nervously hoping for the catastrophe to end. Suddenly, a baby
Everyone gotta start learning sign language. A baby? Oh yeah, all babies are murked.
starts crying, and his mother fails to make him stop. Terrified of the noise, a group of passengers proceed to kick the baby out of the train, but the mother decides to leave with him. Sadly, her decision turns out to be fatal, as in just a matter of seconds, something catches up to them. Following this, the movie rewinds back
What
to the
catches
time
up
where
to
it
them?
all started. A group of archaeologists are digging through uncharted caves in Pennsylvania, 1,000 feet beneath the Appalachian Trail. They come across a massive, never-before-seen dark chamber and begin
Okay.
to celebrate.
I bet you my dark chamber is more massive and never before seen than that BS. Don't hype they shit up.
However, suddenly, they hear strange noises coming from inside of it, and lo and behold, the researchers come under attack by unknown flying creatures who instantly kill them and fly out of the mine.
Oh, those are those things from Minecraft when you don't sleep for 3 days. I forgot their names.
The movie then cuts to a high school in Montclair, New Jersey. A deaf teenager named Allie Andrews is waiting for a bus when she realizes that a bunch of douchebags are mocking her for
They
being
would
deaf.
make a deaf
She
kid the main
ignores them and
character.
decides to walk back home. Allie lost her hearing ability in a car accident. She ignores them and
She's scrolling through Instagram like that? That looks just so inconvenient. That looks nasty. How are y'all mad at why are y'all mad at me for ads? I just told y'all what happens. You know what? You know what? Sub up, nigga.
decides to walk back home. Allie lost her hearing ability in a car accident 3 years ago. She also lost her paternal grandparents in the crash. She
Jesus.
communicates with others through sign language, lip reading, and speaking. Also, douchebag detection. Meanwhile, a guy named Rob shows up and offers to walk her home. They both have a major crush on each other, but always fall short of admitting it. At work, Allie's father Hugh gets a call from his wife Kelly, who informs him that their daughter was again bullied at school. This upsets him, but there's not much he can do about it. Ever since Allie
I mean, he can always press them, you know, pull up with a glass.
Allie lost her hearing ability, Hugh and Kelly have become very protective of their daughter and often have fights about it. Allie lives with her parents, brother Jude, and terminally ill maternal grandmother Lynn. The Andrews family also have a pet dog, Otis.
Look at Otis. Oh my, look, Otis is a fat sweetheart. Look at him.
Bob sends Allie a fascinating video of a colony of what looks to be bats flying somewhere. At 3 a.m., Kelly wakes Allie up and asks her to come downstairs. She notices that her entire family is in the living room, glued to the TV, looking worried.
Jason_blank15 cheered. X100. Naruto and One Piece and any other anime is trash except 7 deadly sins.
Someone ban him.
All windows are closed and the fireplace has been covered by plastic. The TV is reporting that several U.S. cities are under attack
Almost
by
ready
an
to run an ad
unknown
on y'all.
species of pterosaur-like creature.
Okay. See, like, you see how North Carolina is still safe? That means I'm still straight. You know what I'm saying? See, they went to the loudest states first. These yapping ass people, bro. I promise you.
Referred to
Walkers
as
_
Vesps,
lost
they are
_
unleashed
child
onto humanity when some researchers
X100
blasted through the
Reagan.
ancient rock fall that was sealed off for millions of years. The creatures can kill humans in a matter of seconds and use a noise to locate their prey. Because of this, the US government has declared a state of emergency and asked people to
I thought it was like a disease. So basically, when the baby, when it was crying, the things were coming after them. Okay, got
stay
it.
indoors and be quiet. As everyone watches the news in horror, Allie suggests that they head to the countryside, as it is both quieter and safer. Hugh agrees,
South!
and everyone starts packing their belongings. One of Hugh's friends, Glenn, also joins them, and together they set out for the countryside. Later,
Don't
Allie
cars
and her
make
family
noise?
stop at a gas station to refuel their cars.
Don't cars
she
make
uses
noise?
the opportunity to take Otis out to pee, while Hugh tries to keep his son Jude entertained. Suddenly, he hears Allie screaming and quickly runs to her. A man has held her at gunpoint and is demanding keys to Hugh's car. Hugh is about to comply, but Glenn shows up to his rescue and shoots the robber in the foot.
Look
Terrified,
at Glenn. No matter if it's The Walking Dead, this movie, The Silence, I'm guessing that's what it's called. No matter what it is, bro, Glenn's always step up. Shout out to the name Glenn, man.
the Andrews take the man's gun and drive away, leaving the robber to be killed by the creatures. However, before they can get far, the group comes across a massive traffic jam that's blocking all the interstate highways.
Damn.
Glenn proposes an alternative and they go off-road. While driving through the countryside, Glenn suddenly comes across a herd of fleeing deer. He quickly swerves his car.
I think, honestly, I probably would have, like, stole a tank or something. You know, I would have went to the GTLA. I would have went to Los Angeles. I would have went on that hill. You know, drove up into the army camp thing, stole me a quick tank, and I probably would have got it shaken from there. Yeah, because you know I can't do much on a jet once it runs out of fuel, but I can do a lot with a tank after it runs out of fuel. You know what I'm saying?
Car in order to avoid a crash, but ends up tumbling down the embankment. The Andrews immediately go to check on him and find him alive. Sadly, he is trapped inside the car. The family tries everything to save Glenn, including using a nut wrench to open the door and calling 911, but nothing works. At last, Glenn realizes that he is eventually going to bleed out.
Then Glenn's always get hoed too. In The Walking Dead, Glenn got hoed. This is The Walking Dead Telltale. He just gets sent off, never seen again. Oh my God, bruh.
So he asks Hugh to hand him his gun and leave with his family. Distraught, Hugh doesn't want to leave his best friend alone, but for the sake of his family, he agrees. Unfortunately, just as the family is about to leave, Otis senses something and starts barking repeatedly. This attracts the Vesps, and they attack the vehicle with tremendous intensity. Just when all hope seems to be lost, Glenn, who is still trapped inside the car, starts firing his gun.
You said, Walker, if I sub, you're gay. I'll be anything for $5.
To lure the creatures towards him. He manages to save the Andrews temporarily,
Glenn.
but gets himself killed in the process. All this time, Otis keeps on barking, hence, left with no choice, Hugh makes the difficult decision and lets the dog out of their car to die. The Andrews then realize that they can't drive away in their car without attracting the Vesps, so they decide to abandon it. Hugh lights his car on fire to distract the Vesps, and sets out on foot with his family to find a shelter. They walk for hours.
They don't introduce dogs in shows unless they want them to get hoed. That's why I started to realize with movies and TV shows and all this, they only introduce dogs for the dogs to get hoed. It's the only reason.
And Lynn struggles to keep up with her coughing, putting the family at risk. By evening, the family comes across an isolated house, surrounded by a high fence and a locked gate. When they try getting in, the gate makes a noise and attracts the Vesps. Soon, the homeowner also comes out with a gun. Seemingly unaware of the current situation, she tries threatening the intruders, but the Vesps immediately swarm her.
So she just has a large ass gate for no reason. So she didn't even know what was going on. She just has a random large ass gate. Nice.
And rip her apart. Damn, she didn't deserve that. After the incident, Hugh looks around the property for an alternate exit and comes across a storm drain tunnel that leads into the compound. He ventures into the property first to make sure it's safe. After getting the green light from Hugh, Allie and the others enter the tunnel, but inside, Jude comes across a rattlesnake, which makes him scream and attracts the Vesps. The Vesps kill the snake, but they also bite Kelly's leg. With time running out, Hugh quickly operates a wood chipper to distract the creatures and shreds them to death. In the next scene, the family finally enters the house and cleans Kelly's wounds. Before going to
BS.
bed, Allie contacts Rob and finds out that his parents have been killed by the creatures. Worried, she asks him to get out of the city, but before Rob can respond, the call disconnects. Meanwhile, amidst
Rob ended up just like your dog. Dead.
Meanwhile, amidst all the chaos and despair, a religious cult is on the rise that is seeking new recruits and killing non-believers. The next day, Lynn again examines Kelly's wounds and learns that it is infected. Realizing that the wound is going to continue to spread without antibiotics, Hugh heads out to find a medical store with Allie. After walking silently for an hour, they come across a deserted city.
Okay, so why don't y'all just leave her behind like y'all did Glenn and the dog? I'm just saying.
And look for a pharmacy. Ultimately, they find one, but it is dark, deserted, and stinking of rotten flesh.
And probably
As
has
Hugh
everything
collects the
taken.
medicine, Allie
There is no way all the medicine wouldn't be taken in this situation, bro. Because I know if anything like this happened over here, going straight to the nearest Walgreens, CVS, and I'm taking everything off the shelf.
notices vesp eggs growing inside human corpses lying around the store. She
Jesus.
inadvertently makes some noise and alerts the creatures. Now, the duo is stuck inside the store with several vesps. Fortunately, Hugh thinks of a plan. He silently lights a mop on fire and activates the fire alarm. The noise from the fire alarm and the water sprinkler distract the creatures, and the father-daughter duo manages to escape unharmed. Outside, they are approached by a reverend who seems to have cut his tongue. It turns out he is the leader of the cult that's going around recruiting people and killing non-believers. The reverend asks them to join his flock, but Hugh refuses and walks away. They manage to safely return home with antibiotics.
They probably were getting stalked. They're going to meet up on them. They're going to meet up with them.
And Kelly begins to recover. The next day, Allie approaches Hugh and informs him that she watched the news at night, which stated that the vesps can't stand intense cold weather. Hence, people above the Arctic Circle are surviving. She also tells him—
the Canadians are fine. How come the New Yorkians aren't fine? They should be straight. With cold weather, unless it's the summer, then they're kind of fucked. But man, so that means the Antarcticans are fine too.
about regions called the Gray. These are places where electricity has gone out and people are being cut off from the world when the battery of their phone or computers are dying. It is almost as if the Dark Ages have arrived again. Later that day, the Reverend and his cult members show up at Hugh's hideout. He again asks Hugh to join their cult, but is again turned down. As Hugh proceeds to go back inside, the Reverend stops him and writes him a creepy note, which reads, "The girl is fertile."
First off, why did you not go outside with a gun? Y'all don't have any? They may not have any.
Hugh looks them up and down and goes back inside. The Reverend and his cult members assume Hugh is going to fetch his fertile daughter for them, but he returns with a damn rifle instead. However, the lunatics are unfazed, as they know Hugh won't shoot them, which would create a loud noise and jeopardize his—
Shoot them and then go inside! It's not that deep! Shoot them, run inside! Man, Hugh, bro.
Despite
Come on,
this, Hugh takes the safety of the rifle off, and the cult members finally go away. Later that evening, Allie gets a message from Rob. He tells her that he is headed north of the country to the refuge. It is a place where all the people can be safe from the creatures. But before Allie gets to ask him more about it, she loses her phone signal at midnight. But before—
Phone signal? Phone signal? Phone. Man. Phone signal. Interesting.
Before Allie gets to ask him more about it, she loses her phone signal. At midnight, Hugh and Kelly wake up to noises coming from outside. He grabs his rifle and checks the main door, while Kelly wakes Lynn and Jude up. Hugh doesn't see anyone at the door. However, when Jude checks, he notices a little girl his age standing outside. The girl looks afraid, so Kelly decides to let her in. Worried, the Andrews family provides her with a warm blanket and asks her how she got here, but the little girl does not respond. Just then, Kelly notices some scars on the girl's jaw, and Hugh inspects her mouth. They discover to their horror that the girl doesn't have a tongue. She is a member of the Reverend's cult and most likely sent by him. The Andrews family have been set up. They check her waist and realize—
Yep, throw her outside. Throw her outside. Yeah. Shit, I mean, not my kid.
that she's been strapped with multiple mobile phones. Meanwhile, Allie wakes up in her room and notices a phone taped to a cross on her window. The phone alarm suddenly starts to go off and attracts the creatures, freaking Allie out. The phone strap—
Y'all left the windows open. Unless they just broke through. It didn't look like they broke through the
alarm
windows,
suddenly
though.
starts to go off and
Hold up.
attracts the creatures,
I guess they broke through it. It didn't look like it, though.
freaking Allie out. The phones strapped to the little girl also start to go off, and the family scrambles to take them off. Hugh dumps the phones in the water, while Allie runs into the living room. As everything is happening, the creatures start breaking their windows. Hugh and Jude try to keep the Vesps out, while Allie and others go into the basement to hide. Unfortunately, masked cult members had been waiting for Allie, and they grab her from the basement. Kelly attacks the men, but they kick her into the wall.
Dad, that's what you get. You should have shot them the moment you had. Fucking dumbass. Because if you would have shot them, they would have screamed, and then all the attention would have been on them, and all y'all had to do was stay quiet. Got me pissed off.
Knocking her down, the men carry Allie out, and the little girl also goes with them. Enraged, Lynn leaves the safety of the house and follows the men outside. She grabs 2 of the 3 men and signals Allie to flee. The girl obliges, and as soon as she reaches a bit far, Lynn, who is still holding the cult members, starts screaming at the top of her lungs. This eventually attracts the Vesps, and they rip the 3 humans to shreds. The rest of the family also comes outside, but all they can do is watch in horror. Just then, the Reverend shows up and abducts Allie. Before leaving, he even taunts Hugh to stay silent.
She still got abducted. Her dumb ass still got took. Oh my god. Are we serious, man? She still got took. Died for no reason. Like that nigga Ace. Fuck Ace, bro. From One Piece, bro. Took that little shit to the back. You deserve to die.
However, taking advantage of the rain, Hugh, Kelly, and Jude quietly follow them and launch a surprise attack. An enraged Hugh strangles the cult leader with a rifle, but the Reverend stabs him with a knife in the waist. However, Hugh summons all his strength and again gets back up. He uses his late best friend Glenn's classic headbutt and knocks the cult leader down as Kelly takes the other cult members out. She then helps her husband by taking the knife out of his waist. The Reverend attempts to get up.
And she's just standing there watching again. What are you gonna get took by this time? What, a dragon?
But Hugh again gets on his case. This time, he hammers the cult leader to death with the rifle. After the encounter, the Andrews family returns home, while the tongueless girl walks away with her mother. Following this, the movie fast forwards by a few weeks, where the family is seen trekking across the country. They initially arrive at the safe haven that is the refuge. In the final scene, Allie and Rob are hunting Vesps in the forest. The movie ends as Allie wonders whether the Vesps will adapt to the cold, and if the humans will adapt to the life of silence, like she did when she lost her hearing. In other words, very little progress has been made since the beginning of the movie.
In other words, nothing was learned. She lost her mom because her dad was an idiot. I mean, okay, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of pissed me off.